everybody, so today I've got the brand new collection from Chanel. I've picked up both of these highlighter blush duos in the light and berry and golden peach. I've also picked up two of the 3-in-1 eyeshadow liner pens, and I'm going to be trying all of these on today. I'm going to try both of these eyeshadow pens, one on each eye, and use one as an eyeshadow and one as a liner and alternate so you can see how they work. And I'm going to be trying on both of the duos, one on each cheek, so we can see how they are looking as well. I've also got swatches of both of these in Natural Daylight, which I'll be showing you, and I'll also be doing some comparisons with previous Chanel releases so you can see if you might already have these shades in your collection. And if you're new here, hi, my name's Hannah. I'm 47. I'm not a professional, just somebody who really loves makeup and beauty, and here on my channel I upload at least twice a week with reviews, favourite looks, beauty news, anything I think might interest you. And if you think you'd enjoy that, I would love it so much if you liked and subscribed. And if you're already subscribed, thank you so much for returning. And I would also love it if you commented below, because I love getting to know my subscribers. It's really helpful to my channel, but I really do enjoy it very much too. So that's super helpful. Anyway, let's get on with this video. So I'm going to start with the eyes, and I have only picked up two of these. There's just been so many releases and my collection is huge, so I just wanted to really test out two colours that appeal to me so you can see what the formula is like, how easy it is to wear. Can it just be a one and done? Can it be a liner? Can it be an eyeshadow? Can it be both, as they claim? So that's what we're going to try today. This is described as having a medium thick tip. It's called the STYLO Ombre et Contour, and it can be used as liner and eyeshadow. It says, in a few strokes the pen will enhance your eyes according to your desire with a creamy silky texture which glides along the skin and eye contour for easy intuitive application with a soft touch. It's long lasting, keeps its colour intensity throughout the day. So here is the first one I picked up, and this one you roll up and down, so you don't need to sharpen it, but I'll just check, is there... Yeah, there is a sharpener in the bottom, so if you do want to make the tip a little bit sharper, you can use this to do that. So these cost £34 and they're made in Italy, and this shade is called Attaya number 52. So if I swatch this on my hands, you can see the shade. So this is described as a metallic copper brown. Lovely shade. I'm hoping this will be a perfect sort of one and done shade for me. Now I haven't put any bronzer in the crease or anything, which I must admit is not something I like. I do like to have something already in the crease before I do this, but I just want to see this product completely on its own. Can I just do a one and done, which is something I can never do. I always keep adding, but anyway, I'm going to do my best to just stick to these two pens today. So using the flat side of the pen, I'm going to use this as an eyeshadow. It's going on quite creamy, it's not particularly dry, there's no drag. Oh, that's a really nice colour, you know. I want to take it up here into the outer V a bit, so I'm going to be a bit messy in the way I apply this. Yeah, it's not too dry at all actually. Just take it like this. And then I'm going to use this brush, which is a new one I've just got. It's the Zoeva 152 called the Concealer Buffer. I've just found this brush and it's really good for this exact purpose with creams. You see how it's just blending it so easily for me? I have linked this brush below for you if you're interested, because it's a really good find actually. Well, this is blending out superbly easily. That really is very, very easy to work with. Just going to put a bit more on the lid. I think I will put a bit more around the outer edge here as well, so I can build up a bit more colour. But I want it to be more of a gradient so that I've got more shade on the mobile lid, and then it just goes lighter as I bring it up here. It's not feeling quite as easy to work with second time round, which tells me that this dries down fairly quickly. So my advice would be to apply the amount you actually want fairly quickly. I am able to do it, but it's not quite as easy as the first time. So now using it sort of as a liner, but I'm going to make it quite a thick liner. I'm running this underneath. I'm taking the same brush because I want to really smudge this out. Just blending this underneath and bringing it up here. Just adding a bit more to the crease area because I can't see it at the moment above my eye. When I look straight at you, you can't see it above the eyelid, so I really want to bring the colour up a little bit. It definitely feels as though it's starting to dry down. So now I think I can see it above the crease a bit better, and it's faded out and blended very well, and then you've got more of an intense shade here on the lid, which you could just keep intensifying if you wanted to. So that is how it's looking across the whole of the lid. As you blend it, it does seem to lose a bit of its sparkle, so if you want to bring that sparkle back, you do need to reapply it and blend it as the smallest amount really, because as you blend it you do lose that sparkle which you get when you first apply. So I'm just going over with the edge of the pen here, and I'm actually not going to blend this, but I think that's the most I can build this one up. I know that I need a darker shade though. I wouldn't be able to use this as a complete one and done. I need a darker liner. So I probably will go in at the end with mascara and a deeper liner. I was going to compare this to the Victoria Beckham's, but I have already looked and none of the Victoria Beckham eyeshadow pencils are the same shade as this. It's quite different to them. So if you have any of those, this is not a colour match for those. I have looked. This is definitely more of a warm coppery shade than any of the Victoria Beckham's. Unless there's one in her collection I haven't bought, that is, because I'm not sure if I've got the entire collection, but I've got most of them and I usually buy these shades, so I looked at 4 and none of them were a match. So here is the other one I got, and this is called Nuage Bleu. This is soft denim blue, and here's how that one looks on the back of my hand. I will compare this one to 2 of the recent liners from Dior and Victoria Beckham. This is described as a soft denim blue, but I will be comparing it to these greens because they do have a similar tone, even though this is a blue. So I just thought I'd show you in case you're interested. So this one here is Victoria Beckham Seafoam, and this one here is the Dior Mint. So they are definitely different. I was a little bit worried that I'd got one that was too similar to these, but it is different. It's obviously more of a blue. And I'm really glad I got it now actually, because it is very different. So I'm going to try this one all over the lid. Now this is definitely not dark enough for me, so this is where I really could do with a bronzer in the crease. But anyway, I'm going to stick to the plan. I'm going to put it all over and just see what happens and see what I think. That is actually a really lovely colour. I love that colour. So I've cleaned off the same Zoeva brush, and I'm going to use this now to bring this up into the crease. And I'm going to run this underneath like I did with the other one and smudge it out with the same brush. So just one brush, one pen, one and done colour. So there is Nuage Bleu all over the eyelid. Really love that colour. But for me personally, as a one and done, neither one of these would work. I do still need to do something. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to look quite strange probably, but I'm going to try the blue in the waterline here. Because for me, that's really where this sort of shade could be best. When you're using it with a contrast colour like the copper or a brown, I like it with that. And then I'm going to wing a little bit up here and actually line across the top. So this is how this works as a liner, using the fine tip. Very, very, very easy to apply. I actually love those colours together, you know. I'm just going to smooth over the edge a little bit here. I'm going to try exactly the same thing on the other side, so I'm going to have the opposite effect. Definitely does not work as well doing it the other way round. I really like introducing a light shade into the waterline. I think it works nicely with the copper, but it definitely doesn't work, I don't think, with the green so much. It just needs depth. So I will be going over this with the darker liner, I think. So this is how both of them are looking with mascara. That is the copper with the blue in the waterline and used as a upper liner. And this one is the blue all over the lid with a little bit of the copper. I don't mind the copper so much up here actually, it's just in the waterline. I definitely need that bit of depth. So I've gone in with a bit of the Victoria Beckham in Cinnamon liner just underneath. So I think that that definitely makes a difference, but I haven't changed anything else. So I haven't added anything else to the eyelid itself or above. So I have stuck to the one and done as I promised, and I'm actually quite happy. I think that this copper definitely works as a one and done, and so does this one. I wouldn't mix these two together apart from in the waterline. I like that blue in the waterline. I quite like it above there as well actually. Maybe I like the copper above, I'm not sure. But I definitely don't like it in the waterline, and they definitely needed a deeper liner. But as a one and done eyeshadow, it works, and the lighter one works in the waterline. So if you went for one of these in a really deep shade, that could be your liner. So you would need to get a couple really, I think, to be able to achieve the look you want, at least two. So you don't necessarily need a light one for the waterline, but you probably would need at least a deeper one to go with, say, this one here, or just use any eyeliner in your collection. But yeah, but the pens do work as eyeliners, as you've seen, and then you can use the flat side of the pen to use it as an eyeshadow. I'm just going to see now how these are drying down on my hand, so I'm going to really rub the back of my hand very hard and see. Well, they have moved. You can see that the copper has spread, but it stayed quite well. The blue seems to have stayed better. As you can see, the liners did not budge at all. Not that I'm testing those, but so yeah, they do pretty much dry down, don't they? So I think that these will lock in for the day. If I really rub very hard, I can just about get them to go, but I'm really rubbing very hard. So yeah, they should be pretty durable. I think the long wear claim is pretty good. Obviously not as good as the Dior and Victoria Beckham liners, which don't move. But so I've gone off camera and slightly evened up the colours. It was a little bit tricky in all honesty, because building the copper on top of the blue doesn't quite come out the same over there, but my eyes are getting annoyed with me, so I need to stop fiddling about. So at least I look a little bit more balanced anyway, but it's not the most perfect eye look in all honesty. But yeah, that's how they look mixed together anyway, so that's another way of doing it. So the blue is more up to here and then more copper there. So yeah, I definitely prefer them mixed. I knew I would. I don't like one and dones. I should really find a way of showing them to you so that they're really effective, but for me personally, I always want to go in and add a few different colours. But anyway, they do work, as you saw, but I don't think they're my favourite thing, if I'm really being honest. Anyway, let's move on to the duos. So here we have them both, but before I do anything else, I'm going to show you these swatched out in the daylight this morning. So these cost £60 each. They're made in Italy and you get 6.5 grams in each one. And the description on the website says that for her first collection, Ammy Drammeh, excuse me if I've said that wrong, has created an imaginary garden in which flora meets fantasy, a reflection of a dreamlike natural world, one that was an endless source of inspiration for Gabrielle Chanel. Discover a limited edition powder duo that pairs an intense matte blush together with a pearlescent highlighter, described as a fine and silky powder which is easy to apply and comes in this travel-friendly compact. And the embossed design on it features the flowers from the Chanel CC logo at the very centre, a tribute to a dreamlike natural world. So each one comes in the standard Chanel sleeve. It also comes with the brush, the one that I never use. Maybe I should try it today just to see what it's like, but I've never got on that well with these brushes. But anyway, maybe I'll try it today so we can see if they're any good, but we'll see. So I wanted to compare the shades of these with the releases that have come out in the last year from Chanel to see if any of these are the same. I don't actually think they are, certainly not the ones I bought anyway. So I'll start with the Coral Blush. So if I just swatch that on my hand first. So here is the Coral Blush. I'm going to compare it to the one that came in the Les Beige Winter collection. This one is Coral Givre. I really don't think I've pronounced that one properly. But anyway, I'll show you this one. I think this one is a deeper coral from what I remember, but I do remember thinking this was, oh actually they are quite similar. I remember thinking this was a really good summer option. So this is the new one and this is the winter one. So they are different. The winter one was deeper and this one is lighter. There's not a huge difference, is there? Now this goldy highlight, I don't have one to compare for you because I never tend to go for ones this deep for me. I tend to go for the lighter ones. So we'll see how these two work together today, but I'm afraid I can't show you a comparison. But if there is any other collections you'd like me to compare it with, please let me know and I'll do my best to do that if I've got it in my collection. But for my skin tone, this is a little bit too much of a goldy shift, but we'll see how it looks. And the other one I'm going to compare this coral one to is this one, which is actually the most recent, I think. I'm going to swatch this one here. So here that is, and these look really similar. So if you bought this duo, chances are you pretty much have this one. But when you hold them up together, they don't look very similar in the pan, but they do look quite similar swatched. So now looking at the new one, I'm going to compare the berry shade with the one that came with the Winter Les Beige set. So these are definitely different. This is the mauve here and this is the new one here. So the winter collection definitely had more of a warm tone to it, I think. So yeah, this is definitely more of a berry, isn't it? Also, I've got to look at this one. So this is from the most recent face palette. I got this one in the coral. This one is light coral. So I'm just gonna swatch the coral in this. So this is the coral from the face palette and this is the new one here, the peachy one. So very different, and you can see how much more matte the new one is and how much more of a luminous shiny finish you're getting with the face palette one there. And I'm going to go back into this one here and compare this shade here with the new berry shade. So this is much lighter. So the berry shade is definitely a lot deeper, very different. So the only real one that looks a bit similar was the coral one in this one, which is similar to the peach in the new one. But other than that, out of all of their new releases, there aren't really any matches that I can find. None of the highlighters match with any of the ones I've got. This one has got a bit of a pink in it. I don't have a pinky Chanel one, but it does have this sort of shift in, which does remind me a little bit of the one that came with the Lumière de Lausanne release. Obviously the shades are different, but the shift reminds me a little bit. So I thought I'd just compare these two just so you can see. So this here is the new one from the berry duo. And this one is the Lumière. Now you can see with this one, it's so much more glittery. This one is more of a fine pearlescent finish. There is a shimmer in it, obviously, but nowhere near as much as this. So they are very different finishes, completely different highlighters. So for me, there's just absolutely nothing that's launched this year or in the last sort of 14 months from Chanel that I've bought anyway that matches these. There could be other things because I don't always buy every single thing from their collections, but I can't see any matches in my collection. And just doing that swatching, I'm already losing half the embossing. So the embossing goes really quickly on these, which is such a shame. Unlike the embossing on the winter collection, which is really quite a deep embossing, so it really does last. So yeah, that's a bit of a shame. So I'm going to start with the berry. This is described as a matte fuchsia purple, and this is described as a pearly white with a pink and lilac shimmer. I'm going to try this brush. I don't know if I'll regret this, but I'm going to try it. Now this shade, a lot of people probably wonder with fair skin, will this shade work? I probably would never have bought a shade like this for myself. I've definitely just got it for review. I do think it looks a bit too deep, but then the winter Le Beige deep one worked very well for me, so we shall see. I just don't like using a brush this big for my blush, but anyway. Well, okay, nothing there. So not coming across terribly pigmented at the moment. I just don't like using this brush, sorry. I know I should be testing it, but I just can't use that brush, I'm afraid. I'm going in with my Cheekbones cheek brush. I've put quite a generous amount on the brush, and look at that. Can't see it. Obviously this is quite a fluffy brush, which is what I've chosen specifically because of the deep shade. I don't really want to go in with a dense brush. If you did go in with a dense brush, you probably would be able to get a bit more colour. I do, for instance, have this Rare Beauty dense brush. So just to show you, I'll just, yeah, straight away with that. Can you see I got a lot more colour? So this definitely is not a very pigmented berry. So I've had to use 2 light applications and a dense brush to achieve that much colour, which is just right. So I would advise using a dense brush if you want to pack on the colour. If you want to just apply it very lightly and layer it gradually, go with a fluffy brush. That is actually really beautiful. I'm not sure how much this would show up on darker skin tones. I think you would really have to use a very dense brush and build it up quite a lot, because I've put quite a lot on my fair skin and that's how it's looking, which I think is perfect. So this is brilliant for fair skin, but I'm not sure, like I said, if darker skin people will like it quite as much, but you could build it up. But it really is beautiful. See, I would never have bought that seeing it online. I would have thought, no way, too bright, but too pigmented. But that's just right, which is exactly what happened with the winter release. I thought that the deeper shades in that would be no good. I didn't buy them at first. And then when I tried the lighter shades and saw the way that they applied, which is exactly like this, and that I could build them up, I went back and got the deeper one, and I love that one. So now for the highlighter, I'm going to take the Cheekbones highlighter brush. And now, oh, that is gorgeous. Oh, look at those 2 layered together. Oh, that is absolutely beautiful. I think everything is looking pretty mature skin friendly. We're not getting any glittery sparkles. It emphasizes texture to a certain degree, obviously, because I've got 47-year-old skin, but that is really very, very pretty. And I know that this is Dior, but yesterday I reviewed this eyeshadow palette, and don't you think that this blush and highlight combination is the perfect match for this new Dior eyeshadow palette? Definitely going to be trying that together at some point. Beautiful. That one is the number 983, the Champs-Élysées, and like I said, you'll see a full review of me trying that eyeshadow look on my channel, which I posted yesterday. So there we are, that's the final look using the berry and pink, and I absolutely love it. I think it is gorgeous. Maybe not the greatest match with my eye look today, but let's ignore that one. I love it, really love it. So now going in with this gold and peach, and this one is described as a fresh matte coral and a golden ivory highlighter. I'm going to try with the Cheekbones cheek first so we can see how it goes on when you just use a light application with a fluffy brush. I'm expecting something very similar going by the berry. I do like to apply a blush this way. I think that's given me the perfect sort of soft peachy look, which I would probably stop at, to be honest with you. That is really, really stunning. I love these, honestly, they are beautiful. But I will go in with the dense brush so you can see how this looks when you pack it on with a dense brush. So there, that's how it looks when you put more of a deeper application on. Oh, they are so beautiful. So again, this is not at all pigmented. It can be built up and you have to really pack a dense brush to try to get more colour. So these are extremely user-friendly. You're not going to get into any trouble with these, which I personally prefer. Some people might like to just have that impact instantly for a very quick swipe of colour. But for me, I love it because I know that you're much less likely to make a mistake that you've got to fix. And now going in with this gold highlighter, hopefully it won't look too gold on my fair skin. Obviously, oh, it is a little bit too gold for me. I think this one is definitely going to look better on deeper skin tones compared with mine. This pink one was a lot better on my skin tone. Doesn't mean I don't like this, but I do feel like it might be a little bit too deep. If you've got more of a tan skin or just a deeper shade, then I think that would suit you better than it suits me. But it does complement the peach very nicely, doesn't it? I'm actually going to take some of this gold highlight and now use it for a pop of light here. I didn't do this with either of the looks because I wanted to try this. I thought maybe the pink from this one wouldn't work so much because it's just going to make this eye look even worse than it already does. But yeah, I think that's a really nice shade actually for a pop of brightness in the inner corner. I'll take a little bit under the brow as well. Yeah, it works really nicely for that actually. I like that. I think this would be nice when you're wearing a more of a peachy warm eye look. Certainly a golden look for summer would go very well. A golden eye look with this in the inner corner with these two together. But yeah, look at that highlighter. It really is extremely impactful, isn't it? Definitely is highlighting texture a bit, you know, but that's the colour. This sort of colour is just too much for me. My favourite highlighter almost of all time is actually from Chanel, and this is the sort of shade that suits my skin tone so much better. So that's why I didn't have any golds to show you, because I always go for this sort of shade highlighter. Certainly a very summery vibe. I do like it from that point of view. I'm going to try this with the Natasha Denona Golden palette. I think definitely is a good match for that. So that is my final look using everything I got from this collection. And I am particularly in love with the berry and pink, which I'm so delighted I got. As I said, I would not have got it looking at it. I think that's something I need to learn with Chanel, is when it's got a very deep shade, don't be afraid of it, because it is very suitable for fair skin. It is nowhere near as pigmented as it looks. Some of you may be disappointed with that because you're quite looking forward to the pigment, so you really will need to build it up. The peach, which I would have thought would be my favourite. I love the peach, but I just don't really like the gold. I just think, look at it, it's just way too much. I think the peach would look quite nice with a different highlighter. I thought it was beautiful when I applied it, but then I wouldn't recommend, if you've got my skin tone, getting the peach, because you're paying that much for half of it being a highlighter you might not get on with. I would go back, if they've still got it anyway, and get the peach that was released, or the coral that was released in the winter, which I love. I think that one is very, very beautiful. Not that dissimilar to this one. And then you can use a different highlight. But this pink and berry I think is absolutely stunning and perfect for fairer skin. So deeper skin, you might think that this is perfect for you. So something for everyone, which is good really, isn't it? So, but I would have actually thought it was the other way around. The highlighter did worry me, but I thought the peach would suit me better. And as for the eyeliner, eyeshadow pens, you've probably noticed I'm not really enjoying them that much. I thought that the copper was quite nice as a one and done shade. I quite like the blue. Mixing them together I haven't particularly loved. They probably were better just to be left alone. I think with hindsight I would use copper all over, go in with a deeper liner, mascara, job done. And the same with the blue. Use the blue all over, deeper eyeliner, mascara, and a pop of light, any highlighter you're using on the day really, in the inner corner and under the brow. But I've used better eyeshadow pens, in all honesty. I do prefer the Victoria Beckham ones. I prefer my Delilah makeup ones. Oh, I don't know, there's so many of them released. I'm just not a massive fan of one and done. I know it's very popular at the moment. I like playing with eyeshadow. I like playing with different colours. But anyway, it was easy. So if you're looking for a very simple one that can be used as a liner and an eyeshadow, it does work. Depends on your taste. I'd love to know what you think. Would you be picking up any of these eyeshadow eyeliner pens? Have you picked up the ones I've got, or are you picking up others, or have you already got them and tried them? I'd love to hear from you. And what do you think about this blush and highlight duo? Which one is your favourite? Have you picked either up? Will you be picking up either? I would love to hear in the comment section. So that is all from me for today. I'm actually going to be away, so I'm not going to be filming anything for sort of 10 days now, but I have got some I've got at least 3 videos to go out whilst I'm away, so if I don't respond as quickly or anything, that would be why. But I do have content to go out. This will be my last thing I'm filming until I return. So I'm just going on a little break, and I will be back and see you all when I return. But as I said, you will see my videos. And I hope to see all of you for those videos and for my future videos. Take care, everybody. Bye.